I do this side, or should I do this side?
No, that's a good one.
Thank you, I got the thirst one.
Hello, welcome back. Today I thought I'd share what I feed my kids in a day. It's nothing fancy, it's always different, but I love watching these types of videos and I hope you do too. Also, for the most part, I typically eat what my kids are eating. Maybe I'll adjust it a little bit by adding some more protein, or if I'm in a season of trying to cut, then maybe I'll eat more meals that are different. But for the most part, I eat alongside my children. Also, these are all meals that filled my children up pretty well, so there wasn't much snacking today. I think the only snack they had was an apple, just because they were so filled up from the meals. Which is definitely my goal, but it does not happen all the time. So for breakfast today, this is a recipe I've already shared. It's obviously one that we go back to time and time again, but I'm making a Dutch baby, otherwise known as German pancakes. Dutch baby is a little more fun. So the first thing you want to do is throw the butter into your casserole dish. You can also use a cast iron skillet. I use a casserole dish just because it's bigger than the skillet I have. When I used to make this recipe, I started off making just about half the recipe, and now my children eat a lot more, so I had to double it, and my cast iron skillet does not fit all of the batter, so now I use a casserole dish. So first I'm putting my butter in the casserole dish and putting it in the preheated oven to melt the butter, and then mixing all of the ingredients in the blender. So I added fresh milled soft white flour, milk. I actually forgot to add salt and I noticed when I tasted it, so my bad. It still tasted fine. And eggs. I do it in the blender. You can just whisk it up in a bowl. It's just the simplest way for me to do it. And then once the butter in the pan has melted, I'll pour the batter directly into the pan in the oven and then close the oven and bake it for around 27 to 30 minutes. So during that time, I've shared previously that if I have breakfast baking, then during that, I'll try to get some homeschool out of the way and do our recitations while the breakfast is cooking.
Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Who wants to hold the flag this time?
Me!
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Liberty and justice for all.
Now let's count to 10. 8, 9, 10. How many letters are in the alphabet, Thatcher?
26.
Good job. Wilder.
20.
How many senses do we have?
Fly. You sometimes fly.
Yay! Okay. How many months are in the year?
12.
Can you name them all?
January, February, March, April, May.
Can you count to 50 by 5s?
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50.
Oh, you already did. Washington, Adams, Jefferson, Madison, Garfield, Arthur, Cleveland, Harrison, Cleveland, McKinley, Roosevelt, Taft, blah, 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 blah. Harrison, Tyler, Polk, and Taylor. Brum, 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 brum.
Duck baby!
Washington, Adams, Jefferson, Madison.
Now we finish recitations and I'm serving at breakfast. One thing about Dutch babies is if you use fresh milled flour compared to all-purpose, it won't rise as much. But in my experience, it still gets a pretty good rise. But just so you know what to expect. Sometimes I'll serve it with fresh fruit or like a blueberry compote, and then always top with maple syrup. Maybe if it's like a birthday or something, I would let them have powdered sugar. But I try not to offer it too frequently because I don't want it to become a common occurrence. For lunch, I am making pizza. I have shared this recipe in many of my previous videos. Recently, I did a video on our go-to lunches, and there I showed me making the pizza, how I make the pizza dough, how I store it in the fridge, all of that. So I'll link that in the upper right-hand corner if you would like to see that. But for the most part, I keep pizza pretty simple. My kids prefer just cheese pizza, so I usually just add tomato sauce, mozzarella, and then if we have it, I'll add ham. Sometimes we'll have a pizza night as a family and I'll do more fun toppings and stuff. But for the most part, during the week when I'm just trying to make a quick lunch, this is the combination I'll do. While I'm preparing the pizza dough, I have the pizza stone preheating in the oven, and I preheated it to 500 degrees. And then I'll just bake the pizza until the cheese is brown to my liking. While I am getting this ready, my children are all playing outside. I am so thankful for the setup we have. Where I am right now, I can clearly see into my whole backyard, and my children will just be playing outside all day. So it's just the perfect setup because I can be in my kitchen getting all this stuff done, still keeping an eye on them, and then they are getting all of the amazing benefits of being outdoors for so much every day. My kids didn't snack much today, but I do want to touch on what our most common snacks are. So if my kids did want to snack, we usually will give them like an apple, bananas, cheese sticks, slices of cheese. We also usually have dried mango on hand. They love that. And then if they want like a bigger snack, we'll do blueberries and milk or even yogurt and blueberries. We also love to pop popcorn because it's like the cheapest snack you could give your kids and everyone loves it. We usually add salt, butter or avocado oil, and nutritional yeast. But we actually haven't done that in a while because our popcorn maker broke. And I know you can make it on the stove, but the popcorn maker is just so convenient. But now I'm actually craving it now that I'm talking about it. So maybe we'll do that tonight. Somehow I forgot the most obvious snack in our household, which would be sourdough bread and butter. I try to make sourdough bread every day. If we don't have sourdough, then we have a loaf with fresh milled kamut. So my kids will definitely snack on bread in between meals as well. If you know anything about glucose spikes, these all probably sound like horrible snacks. But for kids, I think it's fine. For me, I would try to pair it with protein. I don't know, maybe I should look more into it. I also once heard someone say as like a frugal tip to only use prepackaged snacks for when you're leaving the house, not to let your kids have them at home. So I try to keep to that too. So we do have like some beef sticks, and I'll keep RX bars in the freezer, but those are only for times when we're out of the house. Also, to get the pizzas in and out of the oven, I make the pizzas on small pieces of parchment paper, and then I use the backside of a large sheet pan to help transfer them to the oven and pull them out of the oven. It works amazing, and I don't know why I would ever need anything else.
You're welcome, baby. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome.
So now my daughter is sitting at the counter finishing up some math while I am getting the tortillas ready for dinner tonight. These are sourdough tortillas made with fresh milled kamut. I really love the flavor, but I do feel like I need to find another recipe because these were pretty stiff. I feel like I've made them before and they weren't as stiff, but today they were. Still tasted delicious though. They did the job. So I'm just adding flour, starter, salt. I added for my fat some beef tallow, and then I'm adding water to mix it all together. I did measure the water, you just couldn't totally see that, but I'll put the recipe below that I used. for dinner, we're having taco night. This is a dinner that my kids are always excited about and I'm always excited about. So first I'm chopping up some onion, adding that to a pan, and then I'll add in some beef. I'm just kind of using what we have on hand for dinner tonight. If it was like my ideal taco night, we would have guacamole, corn salsa, steak. Peppers and onions and steak together in my mind are like the best combination. But this is just like a taco night with what we have on hand. To season it, I added salt, pepper, garlic powder, chili powder, cumin, and paprika. I just kind of add all of this to taste. A lot of taco seasonings have added sugars and such, so I usually just throw together my own blend and it always turns out great. Now I'm warming up my cast iron skillet to get started cooking the tortillas. I have a tortilla press and it really is like life-changing if you make tortillas frequently. So I pull that out. I just use parchment paper so the tortillas don't stick to the press. The recipe I made 8 tortillas, so I divided it into 8 little clumps of dough. And while I'm in the process of cooking the tortillas, I'm pulling all of the ingredients out. So we usually add yogurt or sour cream if we have it, hot sauce, salsa, sauerkraut, avocado, and cheese. We also have pickled jalapenos, so I'm doing those right now too. One thing that people have mentioned is how we get our children to all eat the same thing for meals. Like, I don't make a separate meal for each child. Obviously, if it's something like yogurt, I'll let them choose their toppings as I'm building it. But in general, we all have the same meal for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Most mornings, they all want something different. And we did go through a period where it was a challenge because I would say, what do you want for dinner? And they would all throw out something different. So then I'd try to work with them and be like, okay, today Flo gets to pick, tomorrow Wilder gets to pick, and so on. But that just became such a hassle and honestly created more fights. So then I decided Mama's gonna pick the night before what we have for breakfast and everyone has to be happy with it. So now that's what we do. So night before, I pick what we're having for breakfast. I don't even consult them and they just have to eat it and that's what they get. With my daughter, she's reaching a stage where she can actually start to prepare some things by herself. So if there's a morning where there's a breakfast she doesn't like, if she can prepare it herself, then I'll let her make herself a different breakfast. My husband and children are upstairs getting some work done together. So while they're doing that, I went ahead and made myself a taco. And I had another one later on once they were ready for dinner. But that's all for today. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I post videos every Tuesday and Thursday. I'll see you in the next one.